Hello, this is Dr. Goodin with Hold My Margarita. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I think he's an amazing person. Um, I think one of the things I like most about him was that he was imperfect. I know, I just said he's imperfect. He's got flaws. He had flaws. Um, and I grew up very religious, pretty religious. And I'm a person of faith. Growing up, especially though, I read the Bible, Judeo-Christian faith, and I read the Bible, and in the Bible, God was using all these people that were flawed, all these people that messed up. Some of the most important people in the Bible had sort of fatal flaws, really, really big deficits, big mistakes, and God used them. And I think that's, looking back at Dr. King, he wasn't perfect. Whether I believe God used him. If you're not into the Bible and God, I would put it differently. Imperfect people, which is all of us, even people that have really big deficits, can do some amazing things in the world. We can put deficits and mistakes in our history and change and do good things. We can have deficits in one part of our life and really be changing lives in the world in another, have a day named after us. He wasn't a perfect person. We're all complex. And I think it also sheds light on the idea that we need to see people as complex. One of our issues as a society, I think, these days is trying to put people in little boxes and say, hey, oh, you're a this. You're a Trump voter. You're obviously thus a racist, homophobic, transphobic. You're all these things. And you know what? People aren't that simple. And on the opposite side, just to give examples, if you're a liberal or a progressive or a Democrat, you're not necessarily, voting this way and this way and this way. You're not necessarily, one thing. You're not all conservatives are Christians, and not all Christians are Republican, and there's just so much complexity to people, and I like being reminded, because I've been pretty imperfect in my life. I like being reminded that I can do amazing things, and Dr. King did that. He also preached nonviolence. I think that's just something really important. We've gotten away from that. I think it's been hurtful and dangerous to our country, and it's led to what I believe has led to the Capitol riots. When we sort of condone, if not encourage, protests that become riots, and looting, misbehavior that becomes violent, or not misbehavior, but protesting, standing up for your rights when we condone it becoming violent, then it can get to some nasty places, and I think we've seen where that can lead, and so I appreciate that about him. But finally, I think it's important that I say something about Dr. King, and learn to take others' perspectives, which is another thing going on in our culture. We don't listen to the other side. We don't even try to understand the other side, the different types of people in our world. And there's more than just two, Democrat and Republican. There's other types. And we have to take perspective. And I like to try to understand Dr. King and what he must have endured, and what people that grew up listening to his speeches have endured, and what many of my students who are people of color, African American, Black, or African, have endured in the life that they lead, and the experiences they've had and the background they've had that is different than mine. And that's okay, and it doesn't make me better or them more special, or me more special. It means we all have a different experience, and we have to hold together. We have to, if we don't even try to understand the other perspective, then we're missing out on the human family, and we're separating, and we get tribalism like we have these days. So I stand with Dr. King. I stand with nonviolence. And I stand with being imperfect and amazing at the same time. I stand with racial equality, treating all people. I don't really care what your color is, what your beliefs are, what your identities are, your proclivities. I mean, just as long as you're not breaking some law that's, really horrible. I'm a person that really I want other people to succeed and be happy. And I can have my beliefs and support you and be friendly and decent and respectful to others, in trying to do your life your way. And we don't have to have conflict in most situations. And so I want to take the perspective, and today's a day of memory, to think about Dr. King, but also to think about what can I be doing now, and to join with my friends who are Black, my students who are Black, different backgrounds. I can do that without agreeing with everything that the Black Lives Matter organization or even movement says. I don't really know the details enough to say what percentage I agree with, but do I agree with the gist of it? Yeah. Do I think everybody should be treated equally? Yeah. Am I going to get on board with everything Ibram X. Kendi says, or everything in the book White Fragility, Critical Race Theory? No. I'm going to have some disagreements about the messaging and the framing and the some of the ways things are branded and politicized and skewed. But if we focus on the essence of what we have in common, I want everybody to be treated equal. I want to stand with you to celebrate Dr. King. And we don't have to argue about our differences and how I've got a problem with maybe one part of this movement or one part of this and this. If we focus on that common ground again, then we realize, hey, we all want the same thing here. Maybe in different ways. Maybe I don't want to put that sticker on my car or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm not into virtue signaling as much as the next person. But it's where our heart is and where our intentions are. And so I guess I wanted to not really do so much stating my intention, but to say, this is important. It's important. It's important to take people's perspective, and on this day I want to do a little introspection and think about about the work that Dr. King has done and celebrate that, and put my arms around my family. And by family, I mean every human, every color, every background. So, I love all of you. I wish you the best. And I'm on your side, most likely. Regardless of the issue, I'm probably really trying to do the same thing as you. We may see it a little bit differently, but let's figure out how we can work together.